So today, me and Chris are going to talk about some circuits, simple circuits, parallel circuits, resistors. Has everybody in here taken an electrics class before? Electronics class? Alright, that's good. So everyone's familiar with the snap circuits we have and everything? Alright. So first thing first, we want to go through what a simple circuit is. Basically you need three things to have a functioning circuit, which is a source of electrical potential energy, which in this case is batteries. So, and then the next thing, you need a conductive path for electricity to flow through, and a resistance, light bulb, electric motor. They got a lot of different things, the snap circuits, you'll be able to find that out pretty soon.
So first off with power source, there are multiple ways of getting a power source or having a power source. For the snap circuits, like Jack mentioned, we're talking about batteries in general. Okay, it could be just a generator, could be a different kind of power supply that you plug into the wall. You have different options that way. We're dealing with AA batteries, so they're 1.5 volt each. So that's what we're dealing with here. All sources have been identified by current and voltage on the battery itself, so we know those values. Current is pressure pushing through that circuit, and the volts is the amount of energy that the circuit is able to have here. So let's take a look at another way of looking at it here. Okay, your potential for volts here, they may measure it in feet, but let's say it's 12 volts. Okay, the amount of energy that is potential within the circuit would be that 12. Okay, the flow of water here, the amount of pressure that's pushing this way, is considered to be the amps. And then as it falls, obviously the water drops to 0 feet, so it has 0 potential. So that's one way of kind of visualizing it.
Alright, so the next thing we're talking about is a series circuit, which you'll all be constructing today. Current, the basics of a series circuit is just current flows through one path. It connects through each circuit element in turn throughout, like without branching. So for example, in a parallel circuit, there's going to be different areas where the electricity branches off into different things. Like if there's two lights, it'll branch off to the two lights instead of in a series where it flows through in this circular motion.
So we got some examples of that here on the. Okay, so this bottom one here is series, where the batteries go through one connector, through the light, through the switch, through the other battery, and then back around completing the circuit. So as I turn those on, you can barely see them, right? The power is being shared between the two. Now here on top, the power source, 3 volts, coming through, and it's getting split going through both lights and then coming back through the switch. And so you should be able to tell a visible difference because the current is actually the same here, but not necessarily here. All right? Oh, yep. Moving on to resistance. Okay, just like these lights, they're an example of resistance. The amount of current that's basically being held back. Okay? So light is a way of resistance, heat, and motion. So we're going to be dealing with light and motion today with motors and lights. So another way of producing resistance, these are all fairly simple. If you wanted to create more resistance, which is not really a good idea, but you could use a smaller wire because basically the electrons are trying to travel through a tunnel or a pipe, let's say, and the smaller that pipe, the more collisions happen, therefore the more resistance. Also, you can have a longer run of wire. So let's say in a car, the shorter the wire, the least amount of resistance possible there, versus if you're trying to run from front all the way to the back, you're going to have more resistance. Okay? So that's just some quick examples of resistance. Then we've got some handouts for you guys here. We're going to pass out some simple circuit boxes. They're all equipped. They're all equipped with a project book and the components that you're going to need. Okay. As we go through this, we'll be walking around, kind of asking you guys questions. Basically, there's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 circuits that we have picked out, and then we're asking you to find a 7th one just through the book that you feel interested in and that you're going to be actually building yourselves. Okay? So there's some questions after each one, and we'll just kind of be popping around. Then we'll reconvene afterwards and kind of compare your guys' answers, you know, what you guys found out, do some collaborative learning that way. And then we'll dive into how to manipulate different power sources. All right?
Which order do we need?
Oh yeah, it's
The only one we got? Yep.
Switch this.
Actually, we're basically
Yeah.
just basically putting the
Now,
motor
if you
in place
notice,
of the
it
light.
doesn't go off necessarily when you turn it on or when it's running.
As soon as you hit
Need some
Positive
applications.
starts
Then
to
that stops spinning. So,
you put it
so think about it. You're basically switching how it spins. Because the other way
Things
is
spin
it was
really
going up, keeping that fan on power. Versus now,
I'm assuming it spins.
jump up.
You could use it at the end when we ask you to build your own circuit if you want.
During playtime?
Yep.
Oh, that was number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why or why not?
Okay.
Without going to the next question and knowing that you're going to do it. Strategy there, man.
maybe that was for the better one.
Yeah. So you guys go into number 6?
OCD.
We're so unnice sometimes. Always been like I haven't seen it.
Well, now the light got dimmer. Now that light is 1. Congratulations, because you only gave yourself 1 notch to go
You
down.
gotta give yourself some wiggle.
That's why.
It's dimmer.
That's why a 7 would have been much better. It says mon.
No, M-O-R-E. Don't critique them.
Oh no, I could just see it.
Alright.
Okay, how's the light?
So, then now that you got the light first and motor second kind of in that circuit series, what would happen if you guys switched the motor and light?
Yeah, nothing. 'Cause there's the same amount of resistance from the circuit, so I keep it the same.
Okay. Well, that's what number 2.
In what instance do you want resistance?
So,
Well, switch like, right. But in fact, let's say, for example, you're radioing your car, right? You got a 12-volt battery, and then through some pretty small wires going to a radio that's got some pretty small amperage capacity. That's why it all runs through a series of resistors, right? You probably see up here, there's a whole series of resistors. So sometimes resistance is exactly what you want. Yeah. Yeah, you engineer it. Actually, just from a kid's standpoint, don't you just want to hook up as many batteries as possible?
most likely, yeah.
And before you know it, what happens, the odd things with this is oftentimes when you can do from a middle school, you heat them up, you get so much current going through, the batteries get hot. And then what you do is, you know, what are they going to, right? Or what you do is you create a short circuit and watch the battery.
Oh, you did.
What am I doing?
Thanks for the idea, Doc.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We need a 4.
We need a 4?
Are you doing?
I have a 4.
You switch these 2 around. See what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just sit here and be quiet.
Say Hours, anything that happens? Or
Kind of like with the bridge.
about the same.
You know.
Actually, this might be dimmer, but I can.
Sad.
Dimmer than when you had that second. Or when you had the
No, I'm
one.
talking about how they're a bridge. You just did exactly their way.
Do you think it's dimmer? Let's say it's brighter.
I know. I conform to non-conformity.
It's brighter now.
Yeah.
I mean, because if everybody is non-conforming,
Yeah, I guess
It's good insight though, Chad. The fact that what you thought that they would see absolutely plain lamp. They're still kind of
Whoa.
debating on whether they're
That's
saying
not really what's happening.
Right, so the next iteration, if you were to do this again with another class, is, oh, I gotta switch this out. Because if they're not sure of what they're saying, that means the idea in their head's not real strong.
It's brighter this way than it is the
Right,
other way.
exactly. Yep. I gotta check them out. When are you gonna go? Okay, well, he's gonna go. He has to deliver them all. If I get him.
Literally what I can do is Are you guys ready? Ready as you ever be? Alright, so let's kind of go over that worksheet or that handout that we had. Starting off with project 1. How bright was that lamp? Me? Not very bright. Pretty low? Okay. Why was that, you think? You still got 3 volts in the system, right? Probably low battery, maybe. Okay. What are some real-world applications for that? Just throw some out.
We have 10.
You had 10 real-world applications?
No, we have power.
Your bright.
Oh, your brightness was at 10?
We had a 9.
9? Okay.
I think you guys have a 7.
Right. So there's a lot of simple circuits out there. Flashlights, even the lights in here with just a simple switch. Project number 2, DC motor and switch. What did you guys think of that when you switched the fan in a different direction? What ended up happening? Then lift it off?
Just a little.
Just a little? Okay.
Yeah.
What about, why would that be happening when you just turn the direction of the motor? Did you actually turn the direction of how it was spinning as well, just by alternating the power source? Is that what's going on? Okay. Let's see here. What about having the lamp and fan in series, where they're in one direction? Not like the band, alright? But like, lamp first, then motor, right? I think I did something like that. But lamp first, then motor. How bright was the lamp? Was it just as bright as when it was just the switch and the light? Or was it more dim? What do you guys find?
Brighter when it was in parallel.
Brighter when it was in parallel versus in series? Why is that?
They had, there were two batteries instead of ones that were less resistance because they had more ways to go.
Because the current actually splits and able to go, yeah. So that's good. Alright. What about the more sounds? You guys had some fun with that, it seemed like? How many sounds did we actually find out that we were capable of there?
3.5.
3.5? How many sounds did you guys get? 6 sounds? What did you guys get? You had 9 sounds? What? 3?
4.
You're changing your answer?
We never decided. We put 3 or 4 on the sheet.
Nana, what'd you guys get? 6? Do me a favor, open up your workbook. It's in the front page. I believe it's actually the second page, right there. Alarm. How many sounds does it say it can have? The red one. How many sounds? Connect control inputs to the plus power to make 5 sounds. So apparently none of you guys got that one right. But
We were closest.
We can't.
you changed halfway through. That's not even, no. Alright, you guys had that prediction correct? What happened if you place the 3-snap over the resistor? It connects both of these lights and turns both of them on, right? If I open up this, it turns it off. Alright? Because the current path is on a specific loop through the system right now, within this battery system. And when I open up this to be on, it's going to want to flow the other direction. Okay, does that make sense? So you have one that's kind of working counterclockwise and one that's working clockwise. And then when they meet in the middle, it basically is preventing that electron flow to move, which essentially shuts down the circuit. Alright? So that's something you got to be careful of. And like what Dr. Stricker was talking about before, if you leave it open like that, you could cause some problems. Melting wires or batteries, having issues, that kind of thing. Alright, so that's just a couple examples of how you can manipulate the power sources. Alright, so real quick, we got something else here for you. Okay, we're going to be utilizing just a couple of projects that you already did, so you guys are pretty quick at that. What we're doing is we're manipulating the power source to be at 6 volts instead of just 3. Okay? Yeah, some of you guys already jumped to that, which is fine. If you need more batteries, let me know. You should have 4 in your little packet there. And basically what we want to highlight is the difference between 3 volts versus 6 volts within those circuit systems. Alright? So this one should be a little bit faster than the last round.
It's much brighter.
Yeah, the light's way brighter, isn't it?
The motor is not very fast.
Clean up. Clean up. Alright. I feel like that's a song for children.
Yeah. Well. Other than we broke it,
Alarm, I think.
Oh, you're not.
Okay. So what? So did you guys notice any change whatsoever in project number 5 when you put the lamp and fan in series with 6 volts? You guys did notice a change? What kind of change did you notice?
Very bright.
The light was more bright? Did the fan change speed at all?
No, it was faster too.
Fan was faster too. Did anybody else find that as well?
It was like a 10.
The light was a 10? Okay, so it was a lot more bright.